It's 1999. You're 15. You're sitting in your bedroom in Miami and your mum thinks you're doing homework. You're not. You're staring at a blinking cursor on a black screen. The system on the other end. It belongs to the United States Department of Defense. You're not a spy. You're not working for anyone. You're a kid from South Miami who taught himself to code. And right now, you're about to become the most wanted teenager in America. Your name is Jonathan James. Online, they call you C0M Raid, and you have no idea what's coming. You grew up in a regular house, nothing special. Your dad works in IT, and that's where you picked it up. He left a computer lying around when you were 6. By 10, you were taking it apart and putting it back together. By 12, you were on hacker forums, reading about exploits and network vulnerabilities while your classmates were watching Nickelodeon. Genius? Nah. Obsessed? Absolutely. The internet in 1999 is a different animal. No smartphones, no social media, raw, open networks, and a million doors nobody thought to lock. And you found the doors. All of them. School networks first, their password. You cracked it so many times they stopped bothering to change it. Then local networks, then bigger ones. Each time the same feeling, that hit, that rush. Nothing stolen, nothing broken. The only question was, how far can I go? The answer? Way too far. June 1999. DTRA, the Defense Threat Reduction Agency. These are the people who handle nuclear and chemical weapons threats for the United States military. And you walked right through their front door. You're sitting in your bedroom in your underwear, and you have access to a network that handles weapons of mass destruction data. You're 15. You can't drive. You can't vote. But you can read military emails, and you don't stop at peeking. You install a backdoor, a sniffer, a program that sits on their server and captures everything that passes through. Usernames, passwords, emails. Over the next few weeks, you intercept more than 3,000 messages from DTRA employees. 3,000. Some of those messages contain the usernames and passwords of at least 19 employees. You now have the keys to deeper systems. Classified networks, places no teenager should ever see. But you're 15, and at 15, fresh off breaking into the Department of Defense, consequences don't exist. Only the next target. What's bigger than the Pentagon? Smash cut NASA. You went after NASA, Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama, and this time you didn't look around. You downloaded source code, not random files, the software that controls the physical environment on the International Space Station. Temperature, humidity, life support. That software was worth $1.7 million. Now it's sitting on your home computer in Miami. A 15-year-old kid now has the code that keeps astronauts alive in space, sitting on the same hard drive as his homework folder. NASA found out, and they panicked. Who was inside their system? How deep did the breach go? Was it a foreign government, a terrorist organization, or some script kiddie from Florida? So they did the only thing they could. They shut everything down, pulled the plug on the entire Marshall Space Flight Center network. 21 days, 3 full weeks, offline. That shutdown cost NASA $41,000 a day. All to figure out what you took, how you got in, and how to make sure it never happened again. And while an entire NASA facility sat in the dark, you were in Miami playing video games. January 26, 2000, 6 a.m. You're asleep. The Department of Defense and NASA have been hunting you for months. They traced the intrusion back through a maze of servers and proxy chains, and it all led here. Your bedroom. They take everything. Your computers, your hard drives, your notes. They sit you down and explain what you've done. Not in hacker terms, in federal crime terms, unauthorized access to government computers, possession of stolen government property, interception of electronic communications. The charges come down, military systems, NASA, weapons-related agencies. This isn't juvenile court. This isn't a slap on the wrist. The judge sees a kid who broke into the most sensitive networks in the country and didn't even flinch. September 23, 2000. You become the first juvenile in American history to be incarcerated for cybercrime. You're 16 years old, 6 months in juvenile detention, 7 years of probation. You're banned from using computers for recreational purposes. For a kid who lived and breathed code, that's like telling a fish it can't swim. Time served, released, and now somehow you have to build a normal life. But the world knows your name now. Jonathan James. C as Remraid, the kid who hacked NASA. But you can't escape it. Every job application, every background check, every Google search of your name, the teenager who stole from the Pentagon and NASA. That label doesn't wash off. Doesn't matter that you were 15. Doesn't matter that you never sold a single file. Doesn't matter that you did it because you could, not because you wanted to hurt anyone. 2008, the Secret Service is investigating the massive TJX data breach. Albert Gonzalez and his crew stole 130 million credit card numbers. It's one of the biggest data thefts in history. And your name comes up. They search your house again, take your equipment again, and you tell them you had nothing to do with it. The truth. But you've been here before. Same agents, same routine. Once they decide you're the guy, it doesn't matter what you say. A note appears on a desk. It says there's no faith left in the justice system. No chance of a fair trial. Innocence wasn't enough the first time. It won't be enough now. On May 18, 2008, Jonathan James takes his own life. He's 24 years old. 15 years old when you broke into NASA. Invincible, untouchable. It was a game, and for a while it was. Smarter than their firewalls. Faster than their security teams. Access that foreign intelligence agencies would kill for, and you got it from a bedroom in Miami with a dial-up connection. But the game has rules you didn't know about, and the people who make those rules don't care how old you are, or how brilliant you were, or that you never sold a single file. They care that you embarrassed them, and they never forget. Freeze. Jonathan James was the first juvenile hacker behind bars, the first to prove that a kid with a computer could walk into the most secure systems on Earth, and the first to show what happens when the system decides you're the example. He was 24, and he never got to prove he was innocent.